There's a 500-year-old book that powerful men read in secret. Kings banned it. The church condemned it. Dictators memorized it every night before bed. And the man who wrote it? Niccolò Machiavelli. He died poor, exiled, and hated. But his book, The Prince, became the silent playbook of every ruler, CEO, and power player who ever rose to the top. Here's what they didn't want you to know. Machiavelli exposed the single rule that destroys the fairness illusion, the rule most men still believe in today. He warned, if you play fair, if you trust in goodwill, if you wait for others to protect you, you will be destroyed. And 500 years later, men are still making the same fatal mistake. They think being nice earns respect. They believe loyalty guarantees safety. They assume fairness will protect them. Machiavelli would have laughed, then called it a death sentence. Because while you're playing fair, someone else is quietly positioning your downfall. By the end of this video, you'll know 7 Machiavellian tricks to expose enemies, counter manipulation, and eliminate threats before they eliminate you. But here's the catch. Trick number 7 is the one move 99% of men never see coming, and it's the exact reason they lose power without ever knowing why. Stay locked in. Here's what's coming. First, I'll reveal the psychological trap that keeps most men weak, and why niceness is actually the weapon others use to destroy you. Then, you'll see the 7 battlefield-proven tricks Machiavelli documented in The Prince. Tactics still used today by CEOs, politicians, and anyone who truly understands power. Finally, you'll learn exactly how to apply each one in modern life, in your career, your relationships, your social world. But here's what makes this different. These aren't ancient theories gathering dust in some library. These are the exact strategies that decide, right now, today, who rises and who gets crushed. And here's the part that'll shock you. Someone in your life is already using these tactics against you. You just don't see it yet. Let's change that. Let me ask you something you've probably never said out loud. Have you ever trusted someone only to watch them weaponize that trust the second it benefited them? Maybe it was a coworker. You shared your breakthrough idea in a meeting. 2 weeks later, they presented it as their own. You got nothing. They got the promotion. Maybe it was a friend. They acted loyal to your face. But the moment a better opportunity appeared, they threw you under the bus without hesitation. Or maybe it was personal. A partner who knew your deepest insecurities, and the second you weren't useful anymore, used those insecurities to break you down. Now here's the truth most men refuse to admit. Niceness is not a shield. Fairness is not a defense. Trust is not protection. And if you're still waiting for people to do the right thing, you're not being honorable. You're being strategically blind. But don't take my word for it. Take neurosciences. A 2023 peer-reviewed study found that when people gain power over others, their brains literally rewire. Empathy drops, aggression rises, and they justify ruthless behavior. Often without guilt, without hesitation, and without even recognizing they're doing it. Translation: that person smiling at you in the boardroom could be orchestrating your removal in private. Not because they're evil, but because that's how power works. Machiavelli wrote 500 years ago, "The prince must choose between violent revenge to eliminate all opposition or being conciliatory to his people." But here's the line most men miss. Conciliation only works when you already hold power. Without power, you're not being diplomatic. You're signaling weakness. And weakness, in the world of power dynamics, that's blood in the water. So let's be clear. You've been taught to fight fair in a game where no one else does. And that's exactly why you keep losing. So, why do Machiavelli's tactics still work after 500 years? Simple. Human nature hasn't evolved. The same drives that controlled Renaissance Florence in 1513 control Silicon Valley boardrooms in 2025. Here's the law they don't teach you. People don't respond to morality. They respond to power. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche called it the will to power, the primal instinct to dominate and avoid being dominated. Modern psychology calls it dominance motivation. But whatever you call it, The truth is the same. Every human interaction is a hidden power scan. A meeting at work, power scan. A first date, power scan. A conversation with a friend, power scan. People are unconsciously asking, who has leverage here? Who sets the frame? Who bends? Who commands? And the second they sense you have less power, you don't just lose status, you lose visibility. Research confirms this. Studies show that when people gain an advantage over you, they stop valuing your input. They stop seeing you as capable. They start viewing you as expendable. Machiavelli warned 500 years ago, what benefits the enemy harms you, and what benefits you harms the enemy. Every advantage is zero-sum. Every resource someone else claims, you don't get it. Every promotion they win, you lose it. But here's the twist. The same psychology that crushes the weak can be weaponized by the strategic. If you understand the game, you can starve enemies of resources, flip narratives, and eliminate threats, all before they ever see the strike coming. And that's exactly what the 7 tricks are designed to do. Trick number 1. Conceal your intentions. The law, never reveal your full hand. Machiavelli's warning. No proceeding is better than that which you have concealed from the enemy until the time you have executed it. Why it works? The second people know your plan, they can sabotage it. Silence removes their ability to interfere. Predictability is weakness. Mystery is power. Modern examples. Workplace. You're job hunting because your company's toxic. Weak move? Complaining to coworkers, venting on LinkedIn. Strategic move. Keep your mouth shut. Interview quietly. Land the offer. Then resign with 2 weeks' notice. No warning, no counter-offer, no defense for them. By the time they realize, you're gone. Dating. Desperation is revealed. Intention. The person who shows every emotion up front. They hand over all the power. The person who holds back, who stays slightly mysterious. They control the frame. The takeaway. The less predictable you are, the less power others have over you. Trick number 2. Starve the enemy of resources. The law. Don't fight steel with steel. Cut off their supplies. Machiavelli's strategy. It is better to defeat the enemy by hunger than with steel. In such victory, fortune counts more than virtue. Why it works. Most people expect direct confrontation. Arguments, accusations, drama. But if you cut off their credibility, their alliances, their emotional fuel, they collapse on their own, and no one connects it to you. Modern examples. Workplace. Co-worker spreading lies about you. Don't argue in meetings. Don't defend yourself publicly. Instead, quietly build alliances with the decision makers. Deliver high-visibility wins. Let your results speak. Over time, their lies become noise. Your credibility becomes truth. They starve. You win. Relationships. Someone manipulating you emotionally. The nuclear option isn't yelling, it's silence. Withdraw your attention. No reaction, no engagement. Watch them lose all power over you. The takeaway. Indirect warfare is invisible until it's too late for them to recover. Trick number 3. Strike only with advantage. The law, amateurs react, strategists wait. Machiavelli's insight. To know how to recognize an opportunity in war and take it benefits you more than anything else. Why it works. Timing is the force multiplier of power. Strike when you're weak. You expose yourself. Strike when you're strong. The enemy can't recover. Modern examples. Corporate. Your boss is losing favor during a company restructuring. Weak move, publicly complaining about them. Strategic move, document their failures quietly. Build relationships with senior leadership. Then, when they ask for feedback during the restructure, you deliver the decisive input that accelerates their removal. You never looked aggressive, you just answered honestly. Social, someone insults you at a party. Weak move, raging immediately in front of everyone. Strategic move? Stay calm. Wait for the right moment when you have social leverage. Maybe later, maybe one-on-one. Then deliver one cutting line that flips the entire dynamic. The takeaway. Patience isn't weakness. It's the sharpening of the blade. Trick number 4. Never depend on goodwill. The law? Incentives outlast loyalty. Machiavelli's warning. Never depend on the goodwill of another. Why it works? People act on self-interest. Loyalty lasts only as long as incentives align. The second their benefit shifts, so does their loyalty. Modern examples. Workplace. Your manager seems like a friend. You grab drinks, share laughs, confide in them, but when budget cuts arrive and they have to choose between your job and their promotion, don't bet on friendship, bet on leverage. Make yourself indispensable through results, not likability. Personal life. Never let one person control your finances, your reputation, or your emotional stability. Diversify your dependencies. The person who holds all your power today could be your enemy tomorrow. The takeaway. Trust incentives, not smiles. Trick number 5. Use fear, not hatred. The law. Fear commands respect. Hatred unites enemies. Machiavelli's formula. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both, but never be hated. Why it works. Fear enforces boundaries. It creates respect. Hatred creates rebellion. It unites people against you. Modern examples. Leadership. Weak boss tries to be everyone's friend, then explodes randomly when things go wrong. No one respects them. Strategic leader. Sets clear standards, enforces consequences calmly, never makes it personal. People respect them because they're predictable and fair, but firm. Dating/relationships. Setting boundaries early creates respect. Being a pushover creates contempt, but being cruel or controlling, that creates hatred and eventual revenge. History. Julius Caesar pardoned his enemies after defeating them. He thought mercy would earn loyalty. Instead, many of those same men later conspired to assassinate him. Fear would have kept them in line. Mercy gave them opportunity. The takeaway. Be firm enough to command respect, never cruel enough to unify enemies against you. Trick number 6. Crush threats completely. The law. Half measures create vengeance. Machiavelli's brutal truth. Men ought to be well treated or crushed because they can avenge themselves of lighter injuries, of more serious ones they cannot. Why it works. A wounded enemy becomes a lifelong enemy. A destroyed enemy cannot fight back. Half measures leave resentment. Decisive action creates resolution. Modern examples. Workplace. Colleague actively undermining you. Weak move. Confronting them privately and hoping they stop. Strategic move. Either ignore completely if the damage is minor, or fully document, escalate to leadership, and remove them from influence entirely. No middle ground, either irrelevant or eliminated. Personal. If someone's betrayal is small, let it go completely. If it's severe, cut them out entirely. No second chances. No, let's talk it through. Partial forgiveness creates future enemies. History. Rome didn't negotiate peace with Carthage. They burned the city to the ground, salted the earth, and erased it from history. The threat never returned. The takeaway. When you strike, make it final. Trick number 7. Control the narrative. The law. Whoever tells the story first wins. Machiavelli's ultimate weapon. Whoever controls perception controls power. Why it works. Humans believe the first version of events they hear. Your enemy's story will define you, unless you define it first. Truth doesn't matter as much as the story people accept. Modern examples. Workplace. Leaving a toxic job. Don't let your boss spin it as couldn't handle the pressure. Frame it first. Career advancement, better opportunity, strategic move. Control the exit narrative before they do. Personal. Rumors spreading about you. Weak move. Desperately defending yourself to everyone. Strategic move. Calmly present facts to the key influencers, then move on. Desperation looks like guilt. Calm confidence looks like truth. History. Every revolution, every regime change, every power shift, they all started with a narrative, not just weapons. The side that wrote the story wrote the future. The takeaway. You don't just fight battles, you fight perceptions. So let's bring this full circle. Machiavelli wasn't teaching cruelty. He was teaching survival in a world that eats the naive alive. The 7 tricks you just learned, these aren't optional strategies. They are the rules of the game. And here's what you need to understand. Right now, today, someone in your life is already playing by these rules. Maybe it's the coworker who smiles at you in meetings but undermines you behind closed doors. Maybe it's the friend who's positioning themselves to take what you've built. Maybe it's someone you trust completely, who's one incentive shift away from becoming your enemy. If you don't recognize these tactics, you'll keep wondering why others rise while you stay stuck. Machiavelli's final warning was clear. The unarmed rich man is the prize of the poor soldier. Translation: if you have value but no strategy, you're not a player, you're prey. So let me ask you, which of these 7 tricks hit closest to home? Where in your life do you need to start applying Machiavellian strategy? Right now, today. Drop your answer in the comments. I want to see how you're planning to use these. And if this opened your eyes, if you finally see the game clearly, hit that subscribe button and share this with one man who needs to stop playing nice and start playing smart.